The desert wind whispered through the canyon, carrying the scent of mesquite and dust. The sun slid low across the Arizona sky, painting the world in gold and fire. A lone rider approached the Apache camp, his hat pulled low, his horse moving slow and sure, his heart heavy with words he'd never said aloud. His name was Cole Walker, a man of few words, the kind who spoke more with his eyes than his mouth. But that evening his silence weighed like a gun at his side. She was there, Nayeli, daughter of a proud Apache chieftain. Her dark hair caught the light of the fire like polished obsidian, her gaze sharp as the desert night. Cole had ridden 50 miles just to see her one last time, though he hadn't told himself that truth. Until this moment, you shouldn't have come, she said, her voice low, guarded. I had to, he answered, removing his hat, his gray eyes raw with hurt. You left without a word, Nayeli. I needed to know if what we had meant anything. Her breath trembled, but her jaw stayed firm. It meant something, Cole, but it cannot be. Because I ain't one of your people? He asked quietly. Because I was born on the wrong side of the border? Her eyes flickered with pain. Because your world will never let us live in peace. Your kind hunts mine, and my people will never forgive yours. You may not wear the uniform, but the blood that built your towns was taken from ours. Cole's heart twisted. He'd tried to forget the past, the soldiers, the screams. He'd left the war behind, but it never really left him. I'd have left it all, he said. The land, the name, everything. I'd have gone anywhere with you. She shook her head slowly. Then you'd die for love, and I won't let you. The words cut deep, deeper than any blade. Around them the fire crackled. The camp watched, silent as ghosts. Cole looked at her one last time, memorizing every line of her face, the way the firelight softened her eyes, the way her lips trembled like a held-back storm. Then this is goodbye, he said. She turned away. Goodbye, quiet cowboy. He mounted his horse and rode into the dark, the sound of hooves fading like a heartbeat slowing to silence. For 5 long years the desert forgot his name. Cole wandered from town to town, from one forgotten war to another. He worked ranches, broke horses, and buried friends. Somewhere along the way, his legend began, stories whispered. In saloons about a silent man with a gun who never missed and never spoke of his past. But at night, when the wind shifted, he still saw her face in the firelight, back in the mountains. Nayeli became something she never wished to be, a leader forged by loss. The U.S. cavalry had come again, burning villages, breaking treaties, killing her father. She led what was left of her people into the high country. She taught them to fight like the wind, silent, unseen, unstoppable. But even then, in her strongest moments, she would turn to the horizon and wonder if the quiet cowboy still rode beneath the same sky. 5 years passed. The wars grew crueler, the land harsher. And then one morning the scouts came shouting her name. Men! Hundreds of them! Riders! She climbed the ridge and froze. Across the valley, through a haze of dust, came 500 men on horseback, their banners snapping in the wind, their silhouettes rising like ghosts from the earth. And at the front rode Cole Walker, the man she had once loved, the man she had sent away, the man who had come back. The thunder of hooves shook the valley as the army stopped at the base of her ridge. Cole dismounted slowly, his black coat swirling in the wind, his face carved from stone. Nayeli's heart raced, but she didn't let it show. You've brought an army, she said coldly. He met her gaze. I didn't come to fight you, Nayeli. I came to warn you. She frowned. 500 men don't ride this far for peace. They ride to stand between you and death, he said. There's another army coming, soldiers, rifles, orders. They'll march through here by dawn. I came to stop them. She hesitated, torn between pride and disbelief. And why would you care about my people now? Because I couldn't save you before, Cole said quietly. And I won't make that mistake again. Her breath caught, but she hid it behind steel. You think 500 men can stop an army? He looked out over the plains. 500 men who've lost everything can stop anything. Behind her, her warriors murmured, hands near their blades. One of them stepped forward, spitting on the ground. He's lying. We should kill him and take his horses. Cole didn't move. You can try, he said evenly, but then 500 rifles will answer back. Nayeli lifted her hand sharply. Enough, he speaks with me. When the others backed away, she faced him alone. You've changed, she said quietly. So have you, he replied. You're not the girl by the fire anymore. I had to become what the world demanded, she said. And what did you become, Cole Walker? He smiled faintly, a man who got tired of burying the people he cared about. Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat the years fell away. What do you want from me? She whispered. A chance, he said simply. To stand beside you this time. She looked at him long and hard. If I let you fight beside me, my people will call me weak. And if you don't, he said, they'll die. The truth cut through the wind. She turned away, her gaze sweeping over the mountains that had sheltered her people for generations. She had fought and lost too many already. Pride had kept her alive, but pride would not win this war. Finally, she nodded. Then fight beside us, Cowboy. But you'll have to earn their trust. He tipped his hat. And then I best get started. That night, two worlds shared the same fire. Cowboys and Apache warriors sat across from each other, silent at first, then slowly speaking, sharing food, and stories in broken words and cautious gestures. Cole walked among them, not as a leader of white men, but as a man who carried respect in every movement. He helped tend the wounded, fixed a saddle strap, and nodded to every warrior he passed. Nayeli watched him from the shadows of her tent, her chest tight with something she hadn't felt in years, hope mixed with fear. Later, under a sky littered with stars, she found him standing on the ridge, staring at the horizon. You never sleep, she said softly. He smiled without turning. Too many ghosts waiting for me to close my eyes. They stood in silence, the night stretching infinite between them. I thought I'd forgotten you, she whispered. But when I saw you ride through the dust today, Cole turned to her, eyes shimmering with the reflection of starlight. You never forget the person who made you believe in something better. For the first time in years, she let herself smile. Tomorrow, she said, we fight. If you mean to keep your word, you'll prove it then. I will, he promised. The dawn broke blood red. The air carried the scent of war. Nayeli stood before her people, her bow in hand, her voice ringing clear. Today we fight for every mother, every child, every ancestor who still whispers in the wind. We fight together. Across the valley, Cole raised his hand. His men, 500 strong, formed a line of steel and courage beside the Apache. Warriors, the enemy army crested the ridge, rifles glinting like fangs in the morning sun. Cole looked at Nayeli one last time. No matter what happens, he said, you'll never face this alone again. She nodded, eyes fierce with fire. Then ride, quiet cowboy. Ride with me. The horns blew. The sky split with thunder. Two worlds that once stood apart now charged as one. Cowboys and Apaches, bound not by blood but by choice, by love, by something greater than both. And as they thundered across the plain, dust rising around them like a storm reborn, Nayeli thought of that night long ago, the one where she said goodbye to the quiet cowboy. This time, she knew there would be no goodbyes, only destiny. If this story stirred your heart, if you felt the dust, the courage, and the love that never dies, then subscribe to the channel right now. Every week, new tales of honor, heartbreak, and redemption ride across this desert of time. Stories of warriors, cowboys, and the women whose strength changed their fate. Don't miss the next story. Hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and ride with us through the wild frontier of the human heart.